Somebody pointed this out. I don't know if you can see that guy right there in the back with his arms folded. Just pay attention to how you looking now.
Red, and welcome to Monday Night Raw. Get it sexy. Yeah. Hey.
Why do they always have to pick the most ratchet people? I don't know about y'all, but like sometimes when people act ratchet in public, I'm embarrassed. Is it just me or do you guys feel the same way?
Agreed.
It's
Okay.
definitely embarrassing. As long as they wearing our shade, it's embarrassing.
Okay. I'm like, damn, it had to be one of us, man. It had to be just loud, arguing, twerking, all that. I don't know, Shan. Maybe I might be old, man. Maybe I might be old. I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip, man. This is Sexy Red. I didn't expect to see this in a million years. I know back in the day when we used to watch wrestling, this would never be a thing. But I almost think it would be hard for us to get some odd people even on there. But this is what they chose to do. We're going to roll the tape. That's your girl, Shan. That's your girl, man. I think she's from LA, right? She ain't from LA? You're not claiming it? Okay. But shit, maybe she might be from Kentucky then.
No, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that, brother.
So she might be in New York then, man. She might be somewhere. But anyhow, man, maybe Jersey. I think she's from Jersey.
I thought she said she was in Chicago.
Definitely not from Jersey.
Definitely not from Jersey. All right, let me just get you guys reaction, man. That's a little icebreaker, man. But what do you guys think about that? A ratchet behavior.
It's really disappointing though. Like you were saying, JR, man. It's like one of those things you wish they wouldn't put us on her like that, but unfortunately, it happens. And you can see that white dude in the front row, how he was just disgusted. You know what I'm saying? He was just disgusted to see this old hood chick on there. He's like, man, let's get on with the show. Why we gotta see this old trashy chick? And you know, and as me as a black man, it's really bad. You know what I'm saying? Especially a man who has a daughter. You know, it's crazy. And unfortunately, some white folks will think that's how we really all act. We really all into her music. We really all into that behavior. We all carry on like that whenever we get the opportunity. And that's farthest from the truth if I ever heard. But people have that mindset about us sometimes, and it's just unfortunate. So it's just my thought.
Man, first of all, Sexy Red from St. Louis. But when you ask me, does that embarrass me? It does. It has historically, but I'm gonna tell you how I feel these days, more so these days than ever. There's two levels. One, you got the public front-facing image, what the world sees, what everybody sees, Asians, white, Hispanic, you know, other countries and whatnot. And then you have the black community. I'm not so much worried about the black community because it's starting to become a big divide. And me and Hink talks about this all the time on the show. We are almost happy that these women are showing themselves so we can be able to differentiate the sexy reds from the regular people. You know, I talk about it all the time. I said there's black folk and then there's niggas. And how do you tell the difference between them? Because they all dress alike, they all look alike. You know, well, we know, right, in our community, we kind of starting to see, we couldn't tell before, but now we kind of starting to see, you know, we could see that they may not be as overt as Sexy Red, but you know, you can see there's a uniform. And fellas, you know the uniform, the hair, the swirls, the lipstick, the lip gloss, the way she's shaped, the way she walks, how she dresses, the kind of clothes she wears. You can tell the difference between something that's classy versus something that she picked up at Fashion Nova. We could see that. Now, the thing is, well, we say, well, are we embarrassed for what others perceive us as a community as a whole? To be honest with you, I don't know, Hink. I think they started to see the difference too. Now, that white guy that was in the front row with his arms crossed, he looked like a hillbilly hick. So I think that he wouldn't have cared who was up there. He just mad that white folk was up. I mean, that black folk was out there at WWE. It could have been Sexy Red or shit, anybody. It could have been anybody. I think he would have had a problem. He probably would have had a problem if 50 Cent or, you know, Snoop Dogg was there. His arm crossing looks more like disgust, like why they got these niggas up here on here for this wrestling thing rather than disgusted that a black chick is up there acting ratchet. That's just how I felt when I saw him. But as a whole, I'm thinking that they're starting to see what we see, because they go to work with us, they talk to us, they deal with us. And now maybe I'm jaded because I'm on the West Coast and I'm on a coastal city, and I'm not in the mid America. Maybe it's a little different in Midwest, maybe it's different down south. But it just seems that with social media, even those that are blind today in 2024 going into 2025 are willingly blind. And even the other cultures have the ability to pick up and see the difference between a a black woman and Sexy Red. What do you guys think?
I'm in agreement with what you said, Shan. But this is evident that we're failing in our patriarchal society. We done gave in to the women that say, I said what I said. Who gonna check me, boo? She is the worst representation of our inner city, our up and coming, black sisters, because you even have grandmas making that dumb old sound, skill. It's an acceptance. You got young girls in the same tights twerking like it's acceptable, wearing a whole attire. And then everybody, when you want to check it and get back to traditional values, you have certain men that cape for women and say, why you gonna stop her from doing what she want to do? She don't have to fall under your covering, nor does she have to get redirected or put in check for what she's doing to the community. We watched it on a couple of shows, and I'm glad we started off this way, because I would like to see the other men chime in and tell us exactly how they feel about women expressing such freedoms that are detrimental to the young girls, because there are fathers up here with daughters. Anyone? Any takers?
So I'll say this. I think it is sort of detrimental to just us as a people, because for some, especially like when you talk about flyover states, like Montana or whatever, they don't have any example of what we are like, right? So if they're not, in the politics where you can see somebody who's more refined or someone educated, it's just like if they're just see this now in WWE, if they're not in our culture at all, then they see us doing this here. That's the one opportunity they might see black people, because a lot of people just really don't experience black people in real life. So what they see on TV, what they see on social media, and we're definitely not depicted in a good way on social media. That most of the stuff that goes viral is just toxic behavior. So, I mean, as far as our look, as far as the way we are treated, as far as the respect that we get by other communities, is all affected by examples of poor humans like this. That's just, it's nasty. Shan, I do agree that it is a separation right now. It's a separation. I don't think there's going to be any middle, just like there won't be a middle class. It's going to be straight up ratchet, or you just, you were fine. Like, I don't think there's going to be much of an in between. People are just going from one side or the other. And because I wouldn't tolerate anybody like that in my life on any capacity. We can't be anything outside of high and by. So I'm going to be on this side, and y'all go ahead and do all that ratchet nonsense on that side, because I don't want any parts of it at all. It's actually disgusting to me to see it. It's a shame, but I mean that's what we're faced with. Um, and these people, right? You remember way back, you talking about like medieval times or whenever. These people are like spectacles now. They're not the same types of entertainers before. They're coming off more as gestures at this point. You were nothing but a spectacle. You were not to be taken seriously. And I don't think anyone who is an absolutely ratchet themselves and living through her vicariously would take her seriously. Do you think that you could have a legitimate conversation with her? I've watched her conversations and I couldn't, it would be hard to relate. I'd have to force it to talk to her. I would never want to speak to a woman like that ever because we don't really have anything in common that I'd like to talk about. So, I mean, it's going to be that there was always ratchet people, but I think that now it's a spectacle and they're putting them to the forefront. It's just going to be what it is. I wouldn't stress too much about it because, like we were talking about, it's a separation. So hopefully, people will recognize that there are two types of people because we're not the only race that really has some scumbags, right? You can talk about if you want to talk about white people, they have their own, right? I visited dozens and dozens of trailer parks, and they have their own way too. They have their own way of ratchet too. It's just
Yeah.
like the projects for real, for real.
Rednecks.
So yeah, yeah, and some of them you might see come to the forefront too. We've seen it. In a lot of cases, it might be um, on our culture, right? Like if you're talking about like you watch Eminem do it, and then jump in our culture, and he's accepted by everyone, and people liked it.